Hello everyone, have a good day. Welcome to our third module in Computer Systems Servicing for Grade 12, entitled Understanding Workgroup and Domain. This is under Learning Outcome 2, entitled Configure Network Services. This module is for second quarter, week 1, day 3. Learning objectives. At the end of the learning period, the student should be able to A. Differentiate workgroup and domain. B. Know the purpose of workgroup and domain. And C. Understand the peer-to-peer networking and client-server networking. Before we proceed to our lesson, let's answer the pre-test. Directions. Identify and differentiate workgroup and domain network. Write the answer on your digital worksheet. Answer number 1. Peer-to-peer network. Peer-to-peer network are all machines can share files with other machines, and every machine has its own local user accounts database. Answer number 2. Client-server network. This network, only the server can share files with other machines. On a large network, a domain controller is usually used to log on to the client machines. The domain controller maintains a central user account database. Now, let us have a recap of our previous lesson relevant to our topic. Directions. Enumerate the following domain controller promoter, DC Promo. Question number 1. What is the use of DC Promo? The answer is, it is a tool in Active Directory that installs Active Directory. It removes Active Directory. It promotes domain controller. Question number 2. What is the function of DC Promo console utility? The answer is promoting a member server and demoting a member server. Now let's proceed to our lesson. Differentiate workgroup and domain. The main difference between workgroups and domains is how resources on the network are managed. Computers on home networks are usually part of a workgroup, and computers on workplace networks are usually part of a domain. What is workgroup? Workgroup is a peer-to-peer network setup using Microsoft Windows operating system. It's a group of computers on a local area network that share common resources and responsibilities. The workgroup is a collection of computers that are part of the same network. All the computers are peers and do not have control over another computer. The workgroup facilitates the detection of the computers that are part of it and the sharing of resources like folders or printers. In a workgroup, all computers are peers. No computer has control over another computer. What is domain? A network domain is an administrative grouping of multiple private computer networks or hosts within the same infrastructure. Domains can be identified using a domain name. Domains which need to be accessible from the public internet can be assigned a globally unique name within the domain name system. What is domain name? Domain name is the address where internet users can access your website. A domain name is used for finding and identifying computers on the internet. It identifies one or more IP addresses. Computers use IP addresses, which are a series of numbers. For example, the domain name Microsoft.com represents about a dozen IP addresses. Domain names are used in URLs to identify particular web pages. Example: http://www.pcwebopedia.com/index.html. The domain name is pcwebopedia.com. What is the purpose of domain name? Domain names serve to identify internet resources such as computers, networks, and services with a text-based label that is easier to memorize than the numerical addresses used in the internet protocols. A domain name may represent entire collections of such resources or individual instances. Steps to check whether your computer is part of a domain or not. First, you open the control panel, click the System and Security category, and click System. Look under Computer Name, Domain, and Workgroup Settings. Here, if you see Domain, followed by the name of a domain, your computer is joined to a domain network. Difference between workgroup and domain. Under workgroup, the network type is peer-to-peer Windows computer network. How to log in. User can use his or her login credentials only on his or her system and not others, hence known as local login. Under the administration, distributed under administration wherein each user can manage his machine independently, and the storage, mostly distributed. Each device has its own dedicated storage. Domain. The network type of a domain is a client-server network. How to log in. User can use his login from any device of the office, also known as remote login. The administration is centralized. All devices can be managed from a centralized device, usually a server. And the storage is centralized. All user data is stored at a centralized storage device. In a P2P stands for peer-to-peer network. The peers are computer systems which are connected to each other via the internet. Files can be shared directly between systems on the network without the need of a central server. In other words, each computer on a P2P network becomes a file server as well as a client. A client-server network is defined as a specific type of online network comprised of a single central computer acting as a server that directs multiple other computers, which are referred to as the clients. By accessing the server, clients are then able to reach shared files and information saved on the serving computer. Activities. Directions. Draw a simple diagram of a peer-to-peer and client-server network and discuss each. You may answer this on your digital worksheet. Let's proceed to wrap up. To summarize the lesson, what is the main difference between workgroups and domains? The main difference between workgroups and domains is how resources on the network are managed. Computers on home networks are usually part of a workgroup, and computers on workplace networks are usually part of a domain. The workgroup is a collection of computers that are part of the same network. All the computers are peers and do not have control over another computer. The workgroup facilitates the detection of the computer that are part of it and the sharing of resources like folders or printers. In a workgroup, all computers are peers. No computer has control over another computer. Domain name is the address where internet users can access your website. A domain name is used for finding and identifying computers on the internet and identify one or more IP addresses. For example, the domain name Microsoft.com represents about a dozen IP addresses. Domain names are used in URLs to identify particular web pages. Let's proceed to valuing. You integrate the values you have learned by answering the question. How to check whether if your computer is part of a domain and how to know whether your computer is part of a workgroup network. You may answer this on your digital worksheet. Then let's proceed to post-test. Directions. Identify if it is under a domain or workgroup network. Write WG if workgroup and DN if domain. Question number 1. Peer-to-peer Windows computer network. The answer is workgroup. Number 2. User can use his login credentials only on his or her system and not others, hence known as local login. The answer is workgroup. Number 3. It is a client-server network. The answer is domain. Number 4. User can use his login from any device of the office, also known as remote login. The answer is domain. Number 5. Distributed administration, wherein each user can manage his machine independently. The answer is workgroup. Number 6. Centralized administration. All devices can be managed from a centralized device, usually a server. The answer is domain. Number 7. Mostly distributed. Each device has its own dedicated storage. The answer is workgroup. Number 8. Centralized storage preferred. All user data is stored at a centralized storage device. The answer is domain. Number 9. No computer has control over another computer. The answer is workgroup. Number 10. A name used for finding and identifying computers on the internet and identify one or more IP addresses. The answer is domain. If you get all the correct answer, very good. Good job. If not, you just continue learning. Thank you and see you again on the next lesson. Bye.